Somebody give God a praise. Hallelujah. Praise. Come on. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Come on, let's make our affirmation. This is my Bible. Oh, come on, y'all. Do better than that. This is my Bible. The living word of God. In this Bible, I find redemption from my past, direction for my present, and eternal promises for my future. I will learn it, live it, love it, and declare it for all who will hear. By living the principles in my Bible, I will make my way prosperous, and I will have good success. Today, I'll hear the living word of God. My mind is alert, my heart is receptive, I'll never be the same again. This is my Bible. I believe the words that are written herein. Turn in your Bible to Psalm 119. Psalm 119. The longest psalm in the Bible. Don't worry, I'm not going to read it all. Psalm 119, verse 67. While you're turning there, I do want to thank the men of Spirit and Truth who joined with me this weekend. We had an awesome time both on Friday night and on Saturday with our men, young and old, who came and shared. And we had men from other churches around the city. It was a blessed time of fellowship. And for those men who thought enough to rearrange your schedule to be here, I do appreciate you, and I hope that you were blessed as I was. On yesterday, we asked the men who were assembled if this was something that they wanted us to continue, and to a man, not only the men of Spirit and Truth, but men of other fellowships and ministries, to a man, every one of them said yes. So this weekend has been the start of another phase of ministry that God is giving us, and we are grateful. There were those among us who have some great challenges facing them, and I want us to be mindful of them in prayer. I want us to be lifting Sister Jackie up. Yes, I want us to be lifting Jackie Scott up. There's a young man who has been visiting us. He's been with us a few times, a friend of Anthony, and he's really struggling, but there's a part of him that is still fighting for his faith. His name is Armand. I want you to lift Armand up. Our young people are dealing with things that a lot of us never had to deal with when we were their age. And we need to be mindful and keep them lifted. I was really encouraged, and he's not here today, but I was going to say this whether he was here or not. I was really encouraged by Brother Carlos this weekend, Carlos Brown, who made it his business to be here both Friday night, and then I was supposed to pick him up for Murders and Rows and forgot, and he made his mother. Oh, okay. He made his mother bring him to the Coney Island so that he could be with us. Never give up. When our young people look like they may be straying, never give up. Amen. Never stop praying. Never stop believing. The Bible says that if you train up a child in the way that they should go, when they get old, they won't depart. It didn't say they wouldn't stray, it said they won't depart. That word depart means that they'll get back if you just don't give up. Carlos not only came, but Carlos was a blessing. Some of the things that he shared on yesterday. I just want to keep him and especially Jackie, Armand. I want to keep all of our young people lifted. We're praying for Jawan today, who is dealing with some challenges, and I'm praying that he let the Lord deal with him. Praise God, that he continues to let the Lord deal with him. So keep our young people lifted. Amen? Amen. Now, the Word of God, Psalm 119. I'm so sorry, Sister Diva was so excited about being in worship with us today. And when I got here, she had this strange look on her face. So she's out there in the vestibule because she's a little frustrated because they called her in to work. And she's got to leave. And ain't gonna give her about 10 minutes. I'm gonna try to talk fast so that she get 10 good minutes. Amen. I'm praying that y'all keep your jobs and keep your hours, but they stop messing with Sunday. I'm literally going to pray that prayer. In Jesus' name. In Jesus' name. Amen. I was in a meeting 2 weeks ago. Say this real quick, then I'm getting this word, Psalm 119. I was in this meeting, and we're meeting with it was pastors and political leaders and business leaders. And the business leaders were talking about how they needed members of the clergy to help them. They're trying to find people to fill certain jobs, but they need certain kind of people. You know, that's why I told y'all the other Sunday, I don't mean no harm, but don't send people, when I give job recommendations, please don't send people that smoke weed all day to the job recommendations, because when they don't pass the drug test, that makes the preachers look bad. I'm just telling the truth. You know, but anyway, but they were talking to us about what they needed from us, and my bishop was there. Y'all think I'm bold, and y'all should see, when I say bold right now, I mean, you know, strong-willed, courageous. Y'all should see my pastor, Bishop Baker Van, in some of these meetings. Bishop Van said, well, if you want us to be able to make better people, then maybe you need to stop working the people that we're trying to make on Sundays, because that's when we do our work. It got so quiet in that room you could hear a pin drop. Hallelujah. But now that my bishop has said it, I'm going to say it every chance I get with every businessman I get. Okay, don't, you know, I can't help people become better when you got them doing stuff on Sunday morning to make you richer. Then you want to turn around and say the church ain't doing our job. No, because we can't get them. Glory to God. So we're going to agree in prayer. Amen. That the members of this congregation who want to be in worship on Sunday will be able to be in worship and not lose money and not lose hours. Amen. Hallelujah. Psalm 119, verse 67. Hallelujah. Before I was afflicted, I went astray. But now, after I've been afflicted, my God, I keep your word. Verse 71, it is good for me, yes, sir, that I have been afflicted, yes, sir, that I may learn your statutes. I want to talk this morning from the subject portraits. You can be seated in the presence of the Lord. You know that we've been preaching and teaching in our summer series based in part on a book written by a man by the name of Eric Reese. Eric Reese is a member of the ministry team at Saddleback Church, the church that is pastored by Rick Warren, author of books like The Purpose-Driven Church and The Purpose-Driven Life and things of that nature. And Eric Reese wrote a book called Shape, Finding and Fulfilling Your Unique Purpose. And SHAPE stands for an acronym, and the acronym is Spiritual Gifts, Heart, Abilities, Personality, and Experiences. Today, we're on the E. I want to thank God for Pastor Kelly and standing in our stead last Sunday and preaching that message on personality. God wants to use your personality for His glory. There are certain things about you that are unique to you that God can use. But today we're on the E, and the E stands for experiences. And the point that Reese is making in his book, and the point that the Bible brings out time and time again, and the point that is so difficult for us to deal with, is that our experiences, all of our experiences, have meaning and have value as it relates to the future that God has for us. So writing in his book, Reese at one point invites his readers to imagine themselves walking down a long hallway. This morning, before I lose you, I want to invite you, our young people, our younger people, our slightly older people. I want to invite all of you just to allow yourself for a moment to participate in this activity with me. I want you, we've been asking you a lot this morning to kind of close your eyes and see yourself, but I want you to see yourself walking down this hallway, and this hallway represents your life. It's a hallway, so there are walls on either side of you. You're walking down this hallway, and there are walls on either side of you, and I want you to imagine that on the walls on either side of you are paintings or portraits. Our message is portraits, and these portraits that are on the walls on either side of you, they reflect life-shaping moments from your past. So significant things that have happened to you, both good and bad, both positive and painful, are exemplified in these portraits that are hanging on the wall. One side are portraits of experiences that brought us excitement, achievement, and fulfillment. And on the other side, there's a different set of portraits. They are portraits of experiences that caused us pain, experiences that caused us frustration, and experiences that brought us remorse. Both sides of the wall represent your life. Your life would not be complete with only one wall. Your hallway has to have two walls, and on one wall there are the portraits that you want to look at. There are the things that you want to remember, and on the other wall are reminders of things that you would just as soon forget. Walking slowly down the hallway, taking the time to take in the memories that are represented by the portraits that exemplify your past is an important step toward understanding who God created you to be. If you're going to get in spiritual shape, if you're going to get in fighting shape, if you're going to spiritually get to the place where you can handle stuff, then you're going to have to be able to deal with your experiences and pull out of those experiences, both good and not so good, the things that you need to supply you for your future. One of the reasons that many of us feel like we keep repeating cycles in our lives is because once we get out of certain situations, we never take the time to to look at them again so we can ascertain what it was that we were supposed to glean from them. And so because we refuse to learn the lessons from our painful past, we neglect the opportunity to move into our promising future. Wallace Stegner, writing in the book Angle of Repose, gives the opinion that, and I quote, "To look back is the only direction we can learn from." Looking back is powerful. Looking back is informational. Looking back can be inspirational. Now, looking back is not the same as living back. So, whenever you're trying to teach like this, you got to make sure that people don't hear what you're not trying to say. Some of us are not looking back. Some of us are stuck back. Stuck back in the day. Stuck back in the past. I'm not talking about getting stuck. I'm not talking about getting mired down. I'm not talking about becoming captive to your past. I'm talking about taking a retrospective view of your life so that you can understand what it is that you should get out of your past so that you can have victory in your future. R.J. Intindola wrote these words: "Quit telling us to forget the past and never look back. We learned from the past.
Yes, we did.
Gained wisdom from the past that we apply every day in the process of living. If we forget the past, we'll forget who we are, since that's where we came from. Every one of us in this room has a past. And for every one of us in this room, our past may be different, but our past is scarily similar. Because there's been some good days in your past, there's been some bad days in your past. There have been some days when you thought everything was going right, and there have been some days when you felt like nothing was going right. There have been some days where you just couldn't hardly stand all the love that was coming your way. And there have been other days when you felt like you were surrounded by haters. Your story is unique, but the fact that you have a story is not unique. Everybody here got a story. Everybody here has a past, and nobody here has a past with only one wall. What are the portraits in your hallway trying to teach you about who you are and where you're headed? I'm certain that you've already chosen in your mind which side of the hallway you want to concentrate on. If you're like most people, you are gazing with a fixed stare on the wall that is adorned with portraits that remind us of our greatest victories, our most fulfilling achievements, and our happiest times. Oh, we tend to look back at good times with a nostalgic stare and remember them as better than they really were.
My God. That's real, Bishop. That is so real.
I'm in my hallway looking at some of the positive portraits on my wall. As you look at your wall, your portraits are grouped. There are your personal achievements. There are vocational accomplishments, relational achievements, educational stuff, and spiritual stuff. When I look back at my wall, as it relates to personal achievements, there are a lot of pictures on my good wall of personal achievements that have Pastor Kelly in them. Y'all know her story, that, you know, when she first met me, her eyes were not open. She did not realize the value of the man that God had placed in front of her. I've got this portrait, this freshly hung portrait on my wall of Pastor Kelly a couple of a week ago, slipping this covenant ring on my finger there at the bomb squad graduation, and this ring represents the fact that I have re-engaged in a lifelong commitment to authentic manhood. And if you could have been there and heard Pastor Kelly, there were people that were talking 5-10 minutes as they, I'm being nice, they were supposed to talk for 2 minutes, but there were all these women, 30 seconds, there was all these women that had these big long speeches. There was this one woman, she was reading, anyway, they was just reading and talking, and the more they talked, you realized they wasn't saying nothing because they were trying to make up stuff to say for the occasion. Pastor Kelly stood there, and in 90 seconds, she made almost every man in Bomb Squad cry as she talked about the man that I am becoming right before her eyes. And she said, I thought he was good, but I've seen him grow. Is there anybody here that knows that you're never too good to get better? Hallelujah. If better is possible, that good is not good enough. Oh God, y'all can be listening to me. And so that's a personal achievement of mine. On my personal achievement wall, there's a picture of me walking into the mayor's office for the first time by invitation and being escorted to a seat in the mayor's conference room around that huge oval table, and then realizing that the seat they put me in was 3 seats away from the mayor. I've got that portrait on my wall because it's a personal achievement, vocational achievements, job stuff. There's a portrait of me winning recognition years ago as one of Detroit's favorite on-air personalities. It doesn't say Bishop Williams, it says J.A., the gospel DJ, but that's me up there on that wall with my, with my hair, that I had back then. There's another picture of me sitting behind the desk at Titan Auto Insurance, having just been named the regional director of Titan Auto Insurance after 9 months on the job and no previous experience in insurance, and being only the second African American to ever hold the position. That picture is up on my wall. There's another picture of me walking out of the office of John Broad on Harper after 17, 18 years of not having secular employment and going to my first job interview after 17 years and being offered the position. All of those pictures are on my wall. Relational achievements. I told you Pastor Kelly's on the wall a lot. Under my relational achievements, there's a portrait of the day that I proposed to Pastor Kelly at the Chinese food smorgasbord place. And you know, I had told her several times on our rapidly unfolding journey that she was going to marry me. And every time I told her that she was going to marry me, she would say, I'm not marrying you. You're moving too fast. Slow down. And so, you know, I got tired of rejection today. I don't handle rejection well. But in the past, whenever I had been rejected, Adrian, I would just, you know, move away because I'm like, you got me once, you ain't gonna get me twice. But I realized that I was doing the wrong thing. So I just went ahead and got the ring and set it up. And right there in the restaurant, you know, I had them bring the ring on her dessert tray. She said she didn't want dessert. I said, oh no, we're gonna share a dessert. And the girl put it on the tray and brought the dessert stuff, and she lifted it up, and she started, I know she cried. And I said, will you marry me? And after all those times of saying no, yes, I'll marry you. Yeah, that's an achievement. Yeah, that's a good picture. Educational achievements. Graduating from Specs Howard. And then a few years ago, getting my certificate of completion from Ashland Theological Seminary. Those are achievements. Spiritual achievements. There's a picture, it's kind of old, it's in that sepia tone. It's not really black and white, it's that brown tint that we used to have. It's a picture of a little 4-year-old boy with a white shirt and a bow tie and a vest and matching dress shorts with real crisp pleat. And he's holding the hand of this adult woman, and he's looking at her, and tears are falling down her eyes. And if you don't know the story, you don't understand the portrait. But it's the story of a little 4-year-old boy who encounters a woman while he's on the way to church. And the woman has been out drinking all night, and she's still kind of drunk. But she looks at the little boy, and she thinks he's so cute, and she stops and says, "Hi, are you on your way to church?" And the little boy says, "Yes, I am, and you should come and go with me." Well, she was too drunk to go with that little boy that Sunday, but she promised him she was coming, and she came to the church the next Sunday, and she joined that little boy's daddy's church, and she became that little boy's godmother, and she took her talents that she had used in the barroom playing the blues, and she turned those talents and became the musician at the little boy's daddy's church. That little boy is me, and I won my first convert to the Lord at 4 years old. That's a spiritual achievement, and that portrait is on my wall. There have been many amazing moments that adorn the wall of my positive portraits. How wonderful it would be if I could stay on that wall.
My God.
Come on, Bishop.
If I could just
That's good.
hang out
On that wall.
on that wall. How good I would feel about myself if I just stayed on that wall. There's a portrait of me the day I sat on the floor reading the book of Acts, and I said, listen, I'm just a little Baptist boy, and I've been taught all my life that speaking in tongues was a thing of the past, but I'm reading some stuff here, and it looks like there may be something here that's supposed to be in my present for my future. So I don't understand it, I ain't even sure if I believe it, but I know if it's for me, I want it. So I ain't going to no church. Tina was at that other church. It was right around the corner from my house, where they took you up in the room and they lock you in, and then women with the doilies, they start praying over you, and they wouldn't let you out. I had been there once as a teenager, and I realized that they wasn't going to let me out, so I started listening to what the other people was doing, and I started acting like I was doing what they was doing, so that they could let me out, and I promised I'd never go back there again, and I haven't. But I told God that day on my living room floor, if this is for me, I don't need nobody else to get it. I'm going to sit here on my floor, and I'm going to start praying, and if you want me to have it, then while I'm praying, you change my tongue, and God did it. And I looked at the wall while I was preparing for this message, and I saw myself sitting on the floor of my living room, speaking in an unknown tongue, not being able to stop for nearly an hour. God, I wish I could stay on that wall. But even as I try to lose myself in staring at the positive portraits, I cannot help but feel the glare of another set of portraits behind me. These are portraits that remind me of moments I would just as soon forget. Yeah, I got the certificate from Specs Howard. Yeah, I got the certificate of completion from Ashland Theological Seminary. But after graduating from high school with 4.0, my first semester at Wayne State University, I was on academic probation.
We all were.
And I never rebounded. That's on the other wall.
My God.
Thank God for the house I'm living in now. I'm living by favor and I'm living by grace. Every time I pull up to my house, I look at it and I thank God for it. Yeah, there's some stuff that needs fixing, but I still thank God for it. Some people don't understand why I'm so grateful for that portrait, but it's because there's another portrait on the other wall. It's of me living in a $5 a day room in the Highland Park YMCA. When I would lay in the bed that seemed half the size of a twin bed, I could reach out on one side and touch the wall, reach out on the other side and touch the little three-drawer dresser. That was the room that I lived in. That's on my wall. I'm so happy to be married now. I told you on my positive wall, I got all these pictures of Pastor Kelly. Because for the last 24 years of my life, almost 25 years of my life, every significant moment, every happy thing that has happened, she's been right there. I wish I could just
Stay on that wall.
But when I look at the other wall, there's not one but two broken marriages. When I look at the other wall, I'm so proud of the man I've become. But when I look at the other wall, there is infidelity.
Yes.
When I look at the other wall, there is whorishness, and it's an ugly portrait. And just like I celebrate the little 4-year-old boy that's on this wall that reminds me of me, I have to look at the other wall and see that grown man who act like he forgot the power of God that the 4-year-old boy knew. But it's still my wall.
All right. Still your wall.
On this wall, I see some of my best preaching moments. But on this wall, I see years of me running from my calling.
Yeah.
Oh God. On this wall, I see my vocational accomplishments. But on this wall, I'm reminded of months of unemployment.
All right.
Yeah. Y'all got two walls?
Yes, sir.
Am I helping anybody?
Yes, you are.
Or am I hurting you because you try real hard not to ever look at the other wall? You're forced to look upon that wall. Every one of us in this room has painful portraits. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could just go through life with only positive portraits and only on one wall? But if we have learned anything in life, it is that into each life, some rain. The Bible says God sends rain on the just as well as the Bible says in the book of Proverbs that time and chance happen to us all. We're raising up a young generation and we have not given them the tools to deal with life. And so young people, when they're faced with life, not even really hard stuff, but when they're faced with life, because we have not supplied them with the tools they need, they're ready to give it up and throw in the towel. Yesterday, I was put into a situation where I had to deal with a young man and try to help a young man who is right at the start of his life and was ready. Oh God, I give you glory. needed to handle him with kid gloves and be real soft. But then the daddy in me grew up. Y'all need to be careful when you ask men to be spiritual fathers to you, because you don't understand that spiritual fathers can't treat you like your mama. Hallelujah. And so the daddy in me rose up and I said, son, I need to share some tough love with you. You got to learn how to handle life, because in life, no matter how saved you are, no matter how sanctified you are, no matter how anointed you are, no matter how appointed you are, time and change happen to us all. I know you're dealing with some stuff that you don't want to deal with, but stop acting like you're the only one. Everybody here has got two walls full of portraits. Everybody here has got to deal with portraits on both walls.
Yes, you do.
But as I rush to my close, I'm here this morning to tell you that your painful portraits are as much a part of the providence of God as your positive portraits. I'm here to tell you that God uses all of the experiences in your life, the good, the bad, the indifferent, to push you into your divine destiny. I'm here to tell you that we must come to a place as believers. We must come to a place as mature sons and daughters of the Most High God, where we begin to grasp and be grateful for the pains of our past, which God uses to push us into the promises of our future. You can't just be thankful for the stuff that felt good. A mature child of God gets to the place that you learn how to give God praise for the stuff that don't feel good. You can't just be thankful for when everything is working and you see it working. You got to learn how to be thankful for when God is working behind the scenes of your life without evidence that it's working. Some things were bad to you, but they weren't necessarily bad for you. You got to be able to find the hand of God, the signature of God written in the corners of your painful portraits. While I was working, while I was praying, while I was thinking of the message, I literally had a moment where I was stuck on some of my painful portraits, and I saw in the spirit the hand of God begin to sign the corners of those painful portraits. You got to get to a place where you understand that God's signature is on your page. When I was younger, I used to spend a lot of time at the Detroit Museum of Art. Yes, I was a nerd and proud of it. And as I get older, I feel the need to go back to some of my nerdy days.
Amen.
It's time for the symphony again. It's time for the museums again. It's time for the parts of life that we put on hold while we go about the business of living. But I used to spend a lot of time taking myself to the museum. And there are two things that I did when I went to the art museum. One was to look at the art. Two was to look at the people looking at the art.
Yeah, that's right.
And when you take time and look at the people, you can begin to tell the difference between the people who are visiting the museum and the people who really appreciate art. People who visit the museum will walk through. People who appreciate art, I would see folk when I got to the museum, they were in one room. And when I was leaving the museum, they'd still be in that same room, sometimes looking at that same portrait, sometimes looking at that same sculpture. I ain't picking with nobody, but since I said it, have you ever taken the time to slow down and really look at stuff? Or are you so busy trying to move on to the next experience that you continue to miss the value of the experience that you're in? One of the things I learned by watching others who were connoisseurs of the art I was merely observing was that sometimes In order to truly appreciate the beauty of a piece of art, it was necessary to take a few steps back.
Yeah.
All right. I just said something. Listen. Yeah, I would see people and they would walk in and they would walk up to a painting and you would see them. And it was almost like they felt like if they got low and looked up, there was a different angle, like the painting was going to turn into some kind of three-dimensional being. And then they would go over to the side. I never understood it, but they would be looking at it from different angles. But then, invariably, all of the real connoisseurs would begin to step back. Y'all don't even understand why there are benches in the rooms with particular works of art. But it is because the curator understands that some works of art need time to be understood. So they put a bench, never close, but they put a bench a few steps back so that you can sit down and take your time and look at it. Because there are some things that you can't see when you're too close to a work of art. I think y'all started to hear me. Some of the things that you went through, you were unable to see their beauty. You were unable to appreciate their value because you were too close. Tell your neighbor, step back and take another look. When you take another look, you'll begin to understand that what didn't kill me made me stronger. When you step back and take another look, you'll be able to understand that his strength really was made perfect in my weakness. Step back and take another look. You'll see that you learned some things about yourself in the midst of your struggle. Step back and take another look, and you'll begin to understand that if you had never had problems, you never realized what a bad mama jam in the Holy Ghost you really are. You need to step back and take another look. You learned some things about God in the middle of your distress. You can tell somebody that he's a way maker because he made a way for you. You can tell somebody that he'll never leave you because when you step back and look, you see that in the midst of your struggles, he's always walking by your side. When you take another look, you begin to understand that before I was afflicted, I went astray. But because of my affliction, I was pressed to draw closer to God. I know there are some painful portraits in the hallways of your life, but I'm here to tell you this morning that God is using all of your portraits for your good and for his glory. I'm here to tell you that all of your experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly, are all being woven by God into the tapestry of your life. God is making a masterpiece out of your life. You might not see it right now, but that's because you're too close. Oh, when God gives you the ability to step back, you're going to see that even what you're in right now is part of your masterpiece. And so, I'm reminded of a song. I'm just preaching this morning. I was a musician at my daddy's church. It was one of the first contemporary songs that my daddy really liked, written by Andre Crouch. It's a classic now, it's not contemporary anymore. The song was Through It All. Andre wrote these words. He said, I've had many tears and sorrows. I've had questions for tomorrow. There's been times I didn't know right from wrong. But in every situation, God gave me blessed consolation that my trials only come to make me strong. I've been to a lot of places. I've seen a lot of faces, but there were times I felt so all alone. But in my lonely hours, yes, those precious lonely hours, Jesus lets me know that I was his own. I thank God for my mountain. I thank God for my valleys. I thank God for the storms he brought me through. For if I never had a problem, I wouldn't know God could solve trust in Jesus. I learned to trust in God through it all. Yes, through it all, I've learned to depend on His word.
My God.
How you perceive the portraits in your life, whether positive or painful, is really a matter of your own perception. On Friday night, I came to the church for our men's meeting. While I was in my office, I believe it was my armor bearer, John, he brought me a piece of mail. Normally I wouldn't have opened it up on my way into worship, but the address was written in pencil. I immediately thought I knew what that meant. I looked up in the left-hand corner and I saw that it was sent from a penal institution. Oh, y'all know what that is? Yeah. Sent from jail. And I opened it up to see this 8-page letter from Brother Terrence Lloyd. Hey, some of y'all remember Brother Lloyd. Came with Minister Jones. It's his cousin, brother. And he hasn't been here in a minute. But he was faithful while he was here. Once he joined, he didn't miss a Sunday until they locked him up. And I kept saying I was going to reach out to him, and I kept sending messages to him by Minister Jones. But I never got the address. But he had ours. And so he wrote me a letter. Can I share just a little of this letter? Bishop, it's a weird way to end the message. Yeah, I know. But just listen to what Terrence says from his jail cell. God has worked on little brother Jones while I've been in here. I'm thankful for man's unjust incarceration, but appreciative of God's disciplinary hand. Remember on the phone that I said to you that I'm through with self? Well, I finally quit trying to do me. Especially when God knows best, knows me best, knows what's best for me, knows how to get the best of me, and knows how to get the best out of me. Father knows best, and this isn't the television show starring Robert Young. Amen. Never knew that being jailed unjustly could turn out so greatly for me. I cannot stop thanking God enough for taking away from me everything and giving me everything I really needed. The fruits of the Spirit, which is embedded in all and works in all, but all have to be willing to quit. Quit trying your way. Quit holding on to control. Quit self above all else. Been 8 years in the making, with tears in my eyes and a joyful smile upon my heart. Done exactly what He wanted from me. What He wanted me to become. I am God's. Period. I had worked out a different kind of close to this message. Because this message make you want to holler. And I'm sorry for cheating because I hollered already. But you can holler on your own time. But when I read Terrence's letter and I thought about today's message, Terrence has learned how to give God the same praise for both brothers. And so I decided that rather than shout you out of the message, from a jail. You know, men of faith write great letters from jail. If you've never read Dr. King's letter from a Birmingham jail, then you've missed the best of Dr. King. You need to read it. Paul wrote letters in the Bible from jail. When he wrote the book of Philippians, oh God, the book where he says, in everything give thanks, he wrote that from the jail. The book where he says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, he wrote it from a jail. And I know that Terrence is a writer, and he's a little poetic. There's a poem in there. I'm going to let him read it when he comes home. But I know he's a writer, but I don't believe Terrence has ever written anything better than the letter he wrote from jail, where he acknowledges the fact that I wanted to keep looking at this wall, but I'm in a situation where I got to look at the painful wall, but I'm looking at the wall that is filled with pain, and I'm still giving God praise, and I'm still testifying that it was good for me that I had been afflicted, because I've learned some things in the middle of my affliction. I've learned some things while I'm going through. God took everything from me so he could give me everything I needed, and that's the story of your painful wall. Every eye closed, every eye closed, every head bowed. Father, here we are, standing, Chris, standing in the hallways of our life. Sometimes these two walls feel like they're closing in on us. But we're standing here. We're looking at the things that cause smiles to come across our face. And then we're looking at the wall that is filled with memories that cause us pain, but it's because we're too close. Holy Spirit, help us to step back. Help us to step back so that we can take a retrospective view of the wall, so that we can see your hand still leading us, still guiding us from grace to grace, from glory to glory. You are no less God on this wall than you are God on the other. As a matter of fact, we've learned more about who you are as God on this wall. It was on this wall that you taught us that you're a friend that sticks closer than a brother. It's on this wall that your word came to life, and we realized that you hold us in the hollow of your hand. It was on this wall that we learned that what the enemy meant for evil, you continue to turn it for our good. And so, as we look back and forth the walls of our lives, as we examine the portraits, Holy Spirit, help us to declare that all things work together for good. All things work together for good to those who love God and are called according to your purpose. Father, a museum must have different works of art, different kinds of art, by a multiplicity of artists in order to be a museum. If there's only one kind of art only done by one artist, then that's a shrine. And we're not trying to build a shrine to ourselves. We're trying to become your masterpiece. So thank you for all of what you're doing to make us your masterpiece. Now, God, we're getting ready to have a mature moment in this house. Praise is getting ready to come up that has nothing to do with the bishop shouting, has nothing to do with the musicians playing. It is the praise of mature men and women who realize that there is as much value in our pain as there is those things that were pleasant. What didn't kill us make us stronger. We're stronger, we're wiser, we're better. And we thank you for our portraits. Now I want you to take a moment and think about it. And if you realize that God's signature is on the corner of all your portraits, that God is making a masterpiece out of your life, I want you to give your God a great praise in this house. Using our experiences to make us what you need us to be, so that we can have value in your kingdom. Give him one more hand.